Turn that shit off.
Last episode was the Terry dragging episode, apparently.
That's why.
Because y'all hate me.
Yeah.
Did we do that?
I don't see, honestly, there was a part of it where I was just like, I think you're right about friendships where, like, if you're not dragging each other, like,
Then how in the hell can you drag somebody?
buddy, yeah, like,
How in the hell you love somebody else?
well, you know, like, some people say we're not supposed to drag people. I am not those people, I think. But, like, yeah,
Respect to those people.
yeah, I'm learning.
Respect to the law.
Respect to the law, respect for the law, respect to the lore.
Respect for the law, respect for the law, respect for the law.
I remember, like, I've been kind of dealing with realizing that, like, not everyone is okay with my humor. And, like, it's not coming from a place of, like, pettiness where I'm like, ugh, you don't get me. I'm realizing even in my 30s that, like, just because I've been cemented in a certain personality framework of mine, that doesn't mean, like, everyone is okay with it or everyone is used to it
Or gonna understand it.
yeah. And I've been kind of like looking again into the, like, looking in the mirror again and thinking, okay, how can I not change my personality but also kind of, like, take it in stride when it comes to new people in my life that is getting adjusted to me. Because I had because I had
Sister. How do you sisters?
an experience where, like, I feel like someone wasn't really getting my personality and it was coming off shady, and I feel like I know myself and I wasn't trying to do that, but I feel like the idea of shade in the community, it can go either which way. It could be funny, it could be, like, light, and then some people can take it a different type of way, and that doesn't mean to say, like, they're sensitive, but it's like that's not how they kiki, that's not how they get down. And I'm learning to be like, okay, let me stick to the rivers and lakes that I'm used to,
Period.
and I won't make those jokes with you.
But at least you're conscious and aware of it, because there are some people, not pointing to you, but
she said,
you know who we talking about when we talk
Yeah.
about shade, but it's just like, I think that specific person is just shady because they can be.
Yeah. I think we talked about that at some point, about, like, some people really have this, like, curated like media gay. We've been around people that you've seen that
Who are just shady for no reason.
shady for no reason.
But
They try to play an archetype.
when they're shady, they're rude about it.
yeah.
But they like to play coy, like, oh, well, was I being? Yes,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
were, and you knew that.
Your chops. Goodbye. It's a chop.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it before. I think it comes from, like, a media personification of, like, what queer people are like in real life, and for some reason, some people take that to, like, heart.
I don't know why.
And they
Because
take that with them.
when you haven't done the introspective work to figure out who you are and what values you align with, sometimes you end up mimicking things that are
Yeah, that's real.
close or, like,
Then that means
seem
you have
like-
no personality.
Well, yes, but it's also it's a lot of baby gays that do that. I feel
That
like.
too.
I will disagree on that for me and my experiences, because I feel like it's really the extreme and then the other extreme where, like, there's, like, older gays, and I'm saying older so loosely because, like, I'm thinking 45, but, like,
Yeah,
that's
not
how we
old,
talk.
but
Yeah,
older.
Mature.
They should be. Where, like, they're shady, and you're like, okay, I feel like you're watching way too much Will and Grace in 2025.
Karen. Honey, what's going on here? By the look of this hair, I think this little piggy should stay home, okay?
Ooh.
Because why are you saying jokes that I feel
That's
like
the
are
wrong
yes, and then there's, like, the ones that are, like, 21, 22, and they're also like making jokes that I'm like, I think you're watching way too much, like, Real Housewives. So
I don't think you should be doing a workout video because your body's not there. I'm not gonna necessarily say that because that's hurtful. Your body looks like shit, and you shouldn't be doing a workout video. But I wouldn't dare say that out loud.
whatever.
Yeah.
Or, like, watching, like, Santana and that other guy. Is his name Bobby something?
Yes.
Bobby Flake.
Bobby Flay.
Bobby Flay, the chef.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's on.
Oh, from Love and Hip
He's
Hop.
like Natalie Nunn's friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he
Yeah.
came from Love because he's Trina's cousin.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that little tidbit.
Well, let's move past that.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
But yeah, but I think to segue into like the older gays mentoring, I feel like we've come to an age where we might have the younger gays who might look up to us.
Yeah.
And, like,
yeah.
come to us for advice, or even like just like, you know, being new into the gay scene and learning how to cope with relationships and friendships and just
and how to
being
talk
in the scene
and how to talk to other gays without like, there is like a fine, I won't say it's a fine line. I think sometimes even I find myself making sure that I try not to cross it with different people, but there's a line where like you shade people, it's funny, you shade people, it's not funny to them. And I think like with the whole mentoring like other gays, either like on purpose or not, I think that's something that they would have to know or figure out themselves, because I feel like it would be strange to teach someone how to create relationships around like shady jokes without it being hurtful.
But I also feel like
intentionally
that comes along with
I think
finding
I'm interested in like what you mean by mentoring though.
Like mentoring, as you know, like if I had someone to mentor me growing up as like a gay in early 2000s,
one gay
as in like the early 2000s, I wish I had someone to like really hold my hand.
Take my hand. Come on. You're gonna fall unless you take my hand.
Into the community, like, okay, this is this scene, you know.
Oh shit. Interesting. Yeah, talk some more stuff.
Yeah, like I wish I had that growing up, because I just walked into this scene like, okay, where, like, who do I talk to? Where do I go?
Like you have to figure it all out yourself.
By yourself.
Yeah, real.
And it could be hard, and that could be very hard, especially with like this shady ass community. Even you have people preying on you being a new gay.
Yeah,
and it's just like,
that is a good point. Yeah, especially especially
the preying on is definitely a universal thing. I feel like
people will be scared here. A lot of people will be scared, and I'll name them.
But it's all because it's a lot of naivete that comes with that territory, of like not knowing what circles and places you belong in.
Naivete and like excitement, because like
too.
they work in tandem, and I think that's what creates the irresponsibility aspect of like queer people who are younger. I was gonna say like I was kind of like, I think I had a similar experience when it comes to like the lack of mentorship per se. I think I was fortunate enough to have like been around a group of queer people almost immediately when I came out, because I remember when I was like 18 years old, they were already like circling. It was just for me to like confirm that I was. Yeah. To be like, okay, fine, fuck, come inside. Like,
right.
I'm gay, like come inside now. You're right. But like my mentorship kind of, I feel like came from my friends, as we were all the same age, trying to figure out how exactly we're going to figure this out together, and how and what we need to do to adjust properly to
I'm glad you had that.
Yeah, I think I did have that, because I think there were times that I could have been messy, but I had other queer people around me who were like, I don't know, girl, if you do that, like, what's next? But sometimes as an 18-year-old who's also queer, you're like, the plot is doing things for the plot is also very enticing.
Yeah.
When you're younger. I did a lot of things for the plot.
Same.
To see.
My take on this topic is, I don't know that I ever wanted, or even now really still want, a mentor. That's why I feel like this topic is really interesting, because I am such a hard-headed person that I would rather just trial and error until I fucking figure it out. And even to this day, like, I'm
trial and error.
Oh, it's always going to be trial and error for me. I'd rather see it. Even if you tell me 100 times not to do something, I'm going to do it to figure out that doesn't work for me.
She need a lot of psychological evaluations.
I was gonna, it's funny, I was actually gonna say that I wonder if that's like an Aquarius I was gonna say if that's a air sign / water sign thing.
Absolutely.
Because my best friend, actually two of them, one is a Cancer and one is a Scorpio, and both of them would do that. Like they would ask you for advice or like get your intake on or your input on something, and then like 2 days later they're like, girl, I did exactly what I said I was not going to do, but I wanted to see what was going to happen
for the plot.
Yeah.
In the beginning it's always for the plot. Now you realize like, okay, now it's time to, at least me, like in my late 20s now, for me it's like time to
figure it out
and like use those lessons to like figure out how we're gonna move forward.
Sometimes the plot gets me blocked.
Not blocked.
Yeah, sometimes like doing it for the plot gets me blocked, like or like in trouble. So I feel like
Got it.
Doing it for the plot gets me blocked.
yeah, I feel like, and that was like in my like formative years that I like that I thought that it would be more fun to like do what I felt rather than what was the logical thing to do at the time.
See, that was me all my life. I'm very logical, so it's just like
Yeah, Terry Gibbs pragmatic scientist that is
Very
looking,
much.
yeah, that's looking at different variables before they actually do the
Yes.
experiment. For me, I'm just experimenting on the monkey or whatever immediately. Like,
Got it.
I'm not
You're
doing
experimenting on what?
the monkey.
I think part of that is also I was just running on pure, like, contrary to you, I was running on pure raw emotion for like my entire life because that's what I was like shown from everyone around me. Logic was never in the same room.
Yeah.
damn.
They
It was
cannot
it was
relate.
pure emotion at all times. So I was just on 100.
I
100% of the
I think
time.
I agree too. Like I probably was, but like I said, if I didn't have my sisters, it would have gone left.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I didn't have my literally my cousins, which were my sisters, showing me like what, like where to go and what is okay and what's not okay.
Real.
Especially like in your early 21, 22 year, even just like little things like how to go out, how to check your drink,
Tea.
how to throw up and safely so that you can get home safely.
Yeah.
But wait, how did you learn that? Through example? Because you said you don't really take.
Well, the girls have it down. One thing about the girls is the girls
Have it down.
have a formula that's is tried and true and worked for centuries. And
For millennia.
yeah. And
Passed
it was a
down.
girl who showed me how to like, what is it, purge and like riot. I forgot who told me that, but it's like if you're not feeling well and you drank too much, just get rid of it and press restart and go back.
Bitch, no tea.
Because I would go home with that stomach feeling like, oh, I'm so sick.
Nah.
When like if I just let it go.
Yeah. No, it's true. I was literally saying the same thing yesterday to
Wait,
same friend.
let it go as
Like
Let it-
throwing
like
up?
throw up.
Okay,
Like
alright.
that's the thing.
How
like,
to hack your body.
Yeah, I hate
body hacks.
I hate when I'm like I'm in the club like once every year and like one of my friends is like I'm already turned up and I'm probably sick and they're like, you should go home. I'm like, first of all, you don't know me. I decide.
Don't tell me what to
I
do.
decide my fate. I'm going to throw up and I'll be right back.
And I'll be right back.
Don't tell
and
me
I'm
to go
okay.
because I will go straight home.
No, for me it's like if I'm pumping and jumping and I'm feeling the vibe, and the thing is if I've gotten that drunk it's because
We
I'm enjoying
ride at
myself.
dawn.
Yeah, we move like if I'm pumping, jumping and having a good time, I'm drunk because I've been having a good time.
Right.
Most times when I'm sober is because I'm like, I don't want to be tipsy or nothing for this. Like I'm waiting for y'all to give the signal to go home.
Right.
Like I'm like
Slow key me too.
Yeah, I'm like looking around for the bat signal that says let's go.
I'd be looking at it like, you want to go home? Like, is it you wanna leave?
Nowadays it's giving like definitely home before 2. But
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
before
going
I would
before
go
that.
till 4 or 5 in the morning.
It
Usually-
depends.
I can't
Usually
do it
the
anymore.
cut off is at 2. No?
Most places close at 4.
Yeah, the cutoff is like I think like when
Yeah.
I
Like
think
usually when we're out.
yeah I
people-
think
yeah,
yeah.
us, I feel like is 2
o'clock.
There's no need to be out.
Terry
Once
is
it's-
gone. Yeah.
Once it's 11 o'clock, the trains get fucked up after 11 o'clock. So it's time to
Yeah.
go.
If it's one thing about Terry, I think is that
Traveling's a whole nother.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, he lets us know that like the train is his most difficult. The train is
The train is the op.
yeah
After
worst
11
enemy. I was
o'clock.
just about to say that. I was like the train is an op after 12.
Terry versus the train.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's Uncle T
100
versus the
trains
train.
versus Terry.
Oh my god.
No,
Literally.
for real.
100 trains.
Yeah, because he's. So always like I think that's when I know he does not want to stay that long. He would like mention like how the train is gonna be at a certain time. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I know.
Like, my thing is, a lot of times, especially when it's like gay function, there's a lot of times where like a lot of the functions are uptown past midtown. So it's like if it's in Harlem, I'm just like, let me think about it.
Even Hell's Kitchen is kind of deep for you. Right?
Yeah, like I live by the
So
G
deep.
train, so like getting to the G
Is that
train.
the L? L to the G?
if I could get to the L.
I
But if it's
swear.
in Harlem, I would have to take the 1
Every
to the
time
L,
y'all
to
talk,
the something to the G.
every time y'all talk about the subway train, I'm just like,
The subway train.
sorry, the subway station.
Not to be confused.
I'm so drunk. This
With the
liquor
subway bus.
This liquor got me loose.
I mean, what the fuck? Can I live? Can I live? Can I fucking live? Why y'all want to fuck with me? Why?
Whenever y'all talk about the subway station, and like it's like the different was it connections and different like subway lines, I'm like in my head like 1 + 1 is 2, 3 + 3 is the L train, and then you take the G train because that equals 6, and I still feel like I'm not that versed, and I've been here for almost 5 years, and I'm like, how, like Google Maps and myself, we are
go together real bad.
Yeah.
And I try not to use it sometimes. I try to use my own technical skills because, you know, I'm a grown woman living in New York
Because
City.
Lord knows you can never read a map long enough for any reason, whether it's like behind someone on the train or like someone is
Literally.
sitting standing in front of it.
Really fucking glad that we're in a technological age
Because
because
just go on the app.
because
look at the
I
map.
cannot fathom.
Remember holding maps?
Right.
I actually
Holding
saw
a pocket size.
like
Hold up map.
tourists
Uh-huh.
from the airport. They would have like a physical map.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would confuse the hell out of
That
me.
would, yeah, I would have to burn it.
Because then I'm going upside down.
I had that in middle school, and I never even used it. It was trial and error.
Honestly,
My mom used to tell me about it.
That's the story of my life.
Yeah, my mom used to tell me like like she loved, like obviously all moms like to tell you the story of, you know, their hardships, or not hardships, but like how they navigated certain things differently to how
I
we
used to
navigate.
walk up a hill to work in my high
Fort
heels.
Tiger.
I used to have to
Right.
buy 3 maps walking to New. I'm like,
with all my grocery bags.
In the winter
and
storm.
I'm like, sorry to this man, but I have my iPhone and I will not.
Right.
I will not. I struggle enough.
but I think if you're like a native New Yorker, like you've learned from even a child, like learning how to read
Because
the
you had
subway
to.
map.
That's fair. Yeah, I think
Through
that's
trauma and error.
yeah,
literally.
real.
But also, I
bad.
find it so hard for people to get lost in a subway.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm
come with
sorry.
me.
I've spent too many times like crying in a subway station when I was 12.
I can see that for you.
Like,
Being lost?
yes,
yeah, I could.
Stop.
Yeah, I could
because
see
it was
that.
just like
I'll probably
I
do
would
the same.
something wasn't running the right way, and then I just had to take a different train, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I don't know this train.
Oh damn.
I always like I don't know if this is my personality or like my personality coupled with the sign that I am, but I'm always overconfident where I'm going in the subway because the signs look self-explanatory, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I know where this is.
Yeah.
Like the 7's up, but no, that's the exit. And then I realized I just came out the turnstile, and now I have to re-jump.
What I love that the new trains are doing now, the ones that are like all LED and like they have all this.
They tell you which
space now.
staircase.
They tell you which direction you could walk to.
Oh.
Yeah.
On the monitor in the train, like
Yeah.
it says 23rd is that way, 24th is this way.
Is that only like the A and the C or something?
No,
'Cause
it's every station.
So far, I've only seen it on the A. E,
Oh, you meant
C.
about the train itself.
The train
Yeah,
itself.
It's only
yeah.
on the A and the
and
C.
the C, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
that's yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
good.
so nice.
Well-
That was the only thing that still trips me up to this day is like, do I walk that way or this way?
Yeah.
When I get off.
So I guess you could teach the younger gays apparently how to travel
Hey.
and maneuver. I don't feel like sorry, I'm going back to that topic, but I don't feel like I know many. Actually, let me fuck that. It's true. I find myself enjoying a mentorship thing. Like I feel like it has nothing to do with pride or like feeling like I'm teaching someone anything. There's this type of kinship and kindness that I feel like comes out of like teaching another queer person or like guiding another queer person, advising, whatever, being a friend to another queer person who is younger than you or less experienced than you. I just find it so fulfilling to me personally, where like it reminds me, like you said, of like things that I feel like I didn't get.
Yeah.
Little avenues that I didn't get that I absolutely don't mind showing someone else. I still don't know New York that well, confidently, but I felt like when I moved to Toronto and then I moved to New York, I felt like people, when I was living in Trinidad, I feel like younger queer people, and even people my age were asking me things about like gender identity and like just their overall like sexuality and like what it is beyond sex. So things like that, I feel like it was really nice being able to kind of like mentor in a way, things that like I feel like I may have more experience in or more knowledge in, but it's just one of those things that I feel like I wish I could turn it into a career, actually, like a job.
It's like they looked up to you.
Yeah, to be honest, like, again, I'm still battling with some things that I feel like are true about myself that I'm too modest or shy to admit.
Okay.
Like the word look up to seems very heavy.
I thought the same thing, but it's just like, you know, we're at that age. Like, I feel like we don't want to put ourselves in that age bracket because it's like life is happening for us.
Yeah, I'm also only 31, so like
Right.
I don't know, the concept of looking up to me seems kind of heavy.
But like when you think about it, like you have people that's like 20 years old, like how do you do this?
That's
It's just
fine.
like,
Yeah.
Damn, I'm really like uncle right now.
I don't think I know.
I don't
anybody.
even think it's an age thing. It's just like
experience, right?
You're the light, like they're in darkness. They don't know anything, and you're that one person that knows something.
Yeah, come follow me. I know exactly where I'm going.
But then I think that just falls under people who are just like-minded like you.
Yeah.
Because then you can have those shady people who want to follow shady other shady people.
I think conversely for me, it's hard for me to put myself in that mindset because of what I just said about like how stubborn I was. That's how I assume everyone younger than me is, and so I'm just like, listen,
You don't wanna
I
hear
went through
anything.
it. You got to go through it. I'd never see myself as the Professor X.
She said, "Listen to me, motherfucker.
I'm
do it
G.
yourself."
I'm G. Blowing shit up.
She
Getting
said,
possessed.
she said, "Listen, I didn't know left or right, and you know who else won't know? You."
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Figure it out.
She said,
I
"Get
had
your."
to figure it out. You do too.
Yeah.
She said, "Get your train map out."
I'm so sorry,
But I
baby.
kind of like that. Like, you know, I have a few people who are in the younger gay scene, and they're like, give me some advice, give me some relationship advice. Although I don't have the best roster for relationships, but I still, you know, I've experienced life.
I have to say, like, I don't know if people would agree or not, but I feel like it's so strange when people feel like people who aren't currently in a relationship cannot give good advice.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, yes, we're not psychiatrists, we're not therapists, but these are human relations, and we've all had human relations. So, like, why would you think I don't know how to deal with a man? Like, I've had a couple.
Okay.
Don't ask me how much, but I have had a couple.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can give some type of advice. Yeah, like, don't ask me any more questions about that. But
It's just humans speaking on human behavior.
Yeah, like
humans experience life.
Exactly.
What's going on.
I do think there are some intricacies about relationships that are different from like platonic friendships, but they're all still relationships in like communication. Oh, she almost knocked my drink.
She's still there.
I felt like a communication and like the way that you process things that people say about you or to you, and conflict and all these things are kind of the same. I think there's a romantic aspect or a more a heavier intimacy aspect at play,
right?
But like,
I think
I can still get my one too.
I think that has more to do with daddy issues, honestly.
Oh, we're talking about daddy issues now.
It's like, is it mentorship or is it romance? What are you looking for?
If we're talking about daddy issues, I can say I don't have any per se, but I don't think.
Nice.
Well, maybe y'all can therapize me right now on this episode of therapizing Chioke.
I meant in general, by the way.
Continue. Well, let's skip what I was gonna say. But yeah.
Right.
Where were you
talking
going?
about that? Yeah. Well, no need.
No, but actually, like, I feel like sometimes, and this actually ties in back into the whole like preying on thing, but like, and the naivete of it all. But sometimes when you're younger, you are looking for maybe it's mentorship or maybe it's just like a connection, and so you kind of just look in all the wrong places in the beginning, and you end up, you know, in some places you probably shouldn't be in, or it's unfortunate that you ended up in. But a lot of the times, it's because I feel like you're not sure if you want romance or if you want mentorship.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, so that's why for a second I was gonna like mention whatever
friendship.
Yeah, I was gonna mention any like father issues that I might have. I don't know. Saying daddy issues, it's not.
It's kind of.
It just sounds
it's
really
harsh.
nasty.
It sounds
harsh.
weird. Yeah, because like I call people daddy, so like, yeah.
We all do.
Bitch, you have called people daddy.
Even in like a funny way. Oh,
so in
a sexual term.
Oh my god. I was like, please.
I was young and stupid.
Oh, but okay, I've never called my father like daddy.
I still call my father daddy.
That's why it's weird for you.
I'm not. I call my dad by his first name.
Well, okay, I'm definitely in the middle today.
I call my dad. I call my dad by his first name.
Those are both extremely weird.
To you.
But
to you.
Yeah,
I call my mom by her first name.
I call him father or like dad.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, that's like, I want you to know that I hate you.
But also back on daddy issues, we don't have like the best relationship.
So that's what I was gonna say too. Like, I don't.
But calling them by their first name also feels disrespectful.
Well,
to you.
But it's like it's normal.
Father, so calling him Terry will be.
Oh, well, the thing is, like, for me, like my parents are like, I think we already explained this. Like, my parents, I'm not trying to be like they're the coolest people ever. Well, my mom, it's not like calling them by their first name is disrespect. That's their name, and I think also they don't really care that like I'm using terms mom, dad, daddy, mommy, or whatever. I'm just addressing them, and it's also how I address them. You know, like my mom's name is Karen, and like I call her Karen in like in a normal way, and she's fine with that. I think we addressed that. Like I've been calling her by her first name since I was like 23 years old, and I'm 31 now.
That's so cool and progressive.
Yeah, I love it. I'm really great.
I call my mother by her first name, like I'm like playing around with her.
Yeah, no.
I could never.
If I'm playing around, I call my mom by her middle name. Yeah, I will open the door. Like I have the code to her house, and I'm like boop boop boop, blah. I'm like blah blah. And I'm like, hey, you know, yeah. But
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here. But if you want to say something? No, speak up.
I have nothing to say.
But like, you guys are talking about. Well, we kind of talked about the daddy issue thing a little bit. I was gonna say that like when it comes to like, if I can now think about any probable or possible daddy issues that I may have had in the past, I think it attributes to the way that I used to deal with men in the past. Okay. I feel like my dad is, I don't know much about him right now because I don't talk to this man, but I feel like before, because him and I weren't the most emotionally communicative, I felt when it comes to other guys, when they also weren't being that way, I felt like I found myself having to like wanting to pull it out of them and like staying around them more to be like, I can make you not like my dad, you know?
Okay.
And I even remember like dating, like hooking up with men that had similar personalities akin to my father, but different and like in a different way, because you know there was a romantic element at play. So I feel like I could have changed them, you know?
I think there's really a whole spectrum to daddy issues.
Yes.
I think there's the innocent side of it where it's like genuinely like issues with your father. There's the other side of it where like it bleeds into your life and you're dating older, it's sexual, it's a whole thing. That's a whole thing.
Correct.
But I think in a way it always comes back to mentorship and lack thereof.
Yes. You're smart.
And so that's where I'm coming from. I feel like when if I ever were to admit to having daddy issues, which I haven't and I'm still not. But I don't have the best relationship with my father.
On the record, she is not admitting to any issues with her father, and we're not.
We don't have the best relationship, but we're working on it as we speak.
Is that something you want?
Yeah, actually, because for whatever, for our past troubles and issues, not being able to see eye to eye in the past, it's really hard for me as an adult now to show affection to him. And now
we have the same. We're having the same. Oh my gosh!
And that probably kind of affected how I showed affection towards men in general and my fear of hypermasculine men.
This is the therapy episode because real talk, it's the same way with my dad. Kind of like similar to yours. We tried to have some semblance of relationship when I was younger, but he was so removed from the actual full family dynamic that I felt like I did not really know this man. And then when
like a stranger in your house.
Yeah. And then when like I transcended to queerness, it was even more strange because there was times I think he mentioned that like, oh my God, I'm getting real on this podcast, honey. There was a time that he mentioned to my mother that like he can't like connect with me as much as he wants because I'm queer, and I'm like, you're dumb.
Men, why do they breathe?
He openly admitted to that.
Not into my face, because yeah, but like, you know,
That's weird.
he's a weird person. But like, I hope people like him wherever he is.
Yeah.
But like, it was one of those things that I think
it shapes you.
Yeah, it really does. I think I didn't realize that until I was like entering my late 20s and also entering my early 30s, where I'm just like, wow, I didn't think my relationship with my father would affect me that much when it comes to my relations with other men than it does.
When you put it in perspective,
that it actually does. Yeah,
it's your first interaction or like relationship with any man.
Yeah,
as
really,
your father.
Yeah.
So you think all men are going to be like this?
And I don't want people to.
And sometimes all men are.
I don't want people to misconstrue just because, like, you know, you see mostly women having like these type of relationships, like, oh, like, I can't find a man because I have daddy issues. I feel like there's no gender to this.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Regardless if you're a man, woman.
What does that even mean?
Non-binary.
And you could also go to therapy.
Yeah. That just sounds like therapy. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I hear the word. I used to hear the word.
Log on to
therapy.
BetterHelp.
Yeah, I used to hear the word therapy, and I'd be like, I don't need it. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was like a.
I think that's just like a black thing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a black thing.
Color
Did you feel like that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what, like growing up, did your like not family like but like people around you talk about therapy being
They, like,
a
look down on
possible?
it?
avenue
No,
for
it was that wasn't even a thing. That was only for crazy people. And like everyone self therapizes, and therapy is for people who need it the most. And
Yeah, well, talk to God.
the
He'll help you. Just like,
or talk to yourself.
I'm saying but
Girl,
like,
I already talk to myself. That's
Yeah.
why I need it.
right.
I need therapy. Like I do that. Like
I need to talk to somebody.
like God is cute and all, and I'm not. For me, like religion is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
I think with my particular case, like again, thank you, Mom, but like I was grateful enough to like have been in those avenues early on. I mean, my issues weren't. I don't know like what actual issues you guys were dealing with in particular, but for me it was like that ADHD, you know, and like that, you know, that being hyperactive. So I was in therapy at like at a younger age, so I think that definitely helped me in my grown up adult life, because I think I was able to use tools that I needed to use in my adult life that I remember from, you know, being younger. Granted, I don't know if I'm having like therapy trauma, but like now I'm just like, I don't want to go back. I don't feel like sitting on a chair. I feel like I don't know if y'all seen, you probably would have y'all seen X-Men 3 The Last Stand?
Yeah.
Where they had that girl in the white room playing with all those blocks and stuff, and she had like powers, and they were like trying, like they were like prodding her like a lab rat. That's how I feel like I would feel like if I go back to therapy at my age.
Okay.
I think it would have to be in a less clinical setting.
Got it.
Like you might have to come to my house, literally, like and like kiki with me and be like,
I want to say I saw this recently. I wish I remember the exact quote, but it was I think it was Barbara Streisand said something recently. It was like I refuse. She was like, I refuse to go to therapy anymore because like I'm just tired of talking about myself.
That's too, yeah.
And it was just so like, this is, I mean, on topic but off topic. I just thought that was so kind.
No, but
she was like, there's like, she was kind of saying it in the vein of like, there's more important things, but also it is, your mental health is important.
It is important, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I kind of don't feel like I mean, it depends on the frequency, you know? Like I personally can see myself going to therapy probably once a month.
Yeah, but it's not one size fits all.
Yeah.
I think my issue with therapy is finding the right therapist. Because when I first started therapy, my therapist was like some older like Latina woman, and I was like, okay, I'll try it, but it was just like, I need someone who's not.
Sorry, I'm just thinking. She's like, get out of my head.
I can help you. Look at me.
Get out of my head.
Perhaps you should listen to her, Charles. You must trust me. You're a danger to everyone and yourself, but I can help you.
I need someone
get out of my head.
Who doesn't want to understand me from the experience of being black and queer. So I would need someone who also is black and queer, but also feel comfortable talking to a woman. So for me, I would need someone who is maybe around my age, who I don't have to explain the shit that I'm going through. Like if I say certain keywords and like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Or like if I say like, oh, like she ate that, did she really eat something?
Yeah,
like no.
I wonder if that's like, I have that same thing where I feel more comfortable being around women, but I sometimes try not to do this thing where like it comes off like women are my crutch, and they're not, because like I know some women, or maybe all of them, I can't speak for them, but like feel like men tend to lean on women because of their emotional capacity, but it's no one's fault that they're just good at that, you know. But I've been trying to practice also confiding in men.
Same.
But it's hard. Matter of fact, when I'm being interviewed for a job, when I know that it's a guy, I get so nervous.
Same.
I'm like, fuck, he's gonna fuck me up.
Yeah, because you're like, how can I connect with this human being in 5
minutes?
And he's a man.
Yeah.
So
He's probably straight.
So
and
first
leave
of all,
a
I'm not
lasting
gonna,
impression.
so I'm not gonna get the job.
Yeah.
Because he's a man. And he's a man who's not queer. So like,
right.
He doesn't want to kiss me.
But when you get interviewed by a woman, you're just like, okay,
at work.
Sisters. Don't worry about sister.
Well,
kind of.
You're right. I do that. Well, I don't say. Well,
well, yeah, but not, you know.
Yeah. But my energy is different.
Yeah.
My last therapist, who's completely random. It was through school. And he was, they were black and queer and non-binary, and I didn't realize until I got them.
I was your therapist.
Yes, actually.
What did I tell you?
We were in the same room.
Right, go ahead.
No, but I didn't realize how much I appreciated it. Because I really didn't care who I got, but as soon as we started speaking, I was just like, I felt this like experience and this like.
Yeah.
This background that just like made me feel more comfortable to
the
talk
first
about
time?
anything. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it the familiarity?
There was so much familiarity. Whereas like if it had been anyone else or a straight man, I would have been like,
yeah, I probably would have called them authorities.
Reserved.
Do I need to like give you background info on what this
Right.
is like?
Yeah, that's me.
Damn,
No one wants to explain what shit means.
We should be able to pick.
Yeah. Yeah, I should. Yeah.
I don't mind firing a therapist.
Oh my god, Salam is
like
right.
a category.
Oh my gosh, again, yeah. I think you should do that. I think on the interview, before the interview process, there's like a drop down box of like who you want the interviewer to be. They're all in the same. They have the same expertise. They're all in the same company, obviously, whatever. But you can choose between Samantha, John, Christy. You know, like instead of being like, oh, it's John.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's such a good idea. I was just saying like how that would on paper that would probably sound so like problematic, but if you just put their names, you can kind of
just their name. Yeah,
tell a lot
just their name
by that.
Yeah, and probably like their pronouns,
a brief bio.
Yeah, because like again, I would feel more comfortable talking to a trans person, a trans man, rather than a cis male. Like I feel like they're still uncomfortable. I feel like I still feel uncomfortable. There's something underlying underneath, just knowing that you're like cis male, that I feel like I have to call the police.
Yeah,
I just have to.
I think that kind of makes me feel grateful for like in the job that I'm in, where we accept pretty much anybody. So
that sounds so bad. I'm sorry.
I mean, not like in a sense, not just anybody, but
we take anyone.
Anyone. Like,
I mean, you know, we obviously like a whole interview process.
The door is open.
We are the door is open.
It should be
the door.
The door should be closed.
The door is open for you know.
When I didn't wake up on time, the door was closed.
If you've been incarcerated, if you identify as queer, non-binary,
you still get a chance. Although, I don't. That's good though. I mean, we're making jokes about it, obviously, but the part about someone who's previously incarcerated, I think that's wonderful.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
I think that's, for me, that's wonderful because I see. There's like interviews online on Twitter. Sometimes there's like little videos on YouTube where people who were previously in prison talk about the difficulty finding work, and I'm like, if you've paid your penance, could you not find work? I mean, honestly, there are justifications and exceptions.
Right.
If it's not some kind of capital law and you were in like civil court or something.
Well, I was gonna say.
I don't care if you didn't pay.
I was gonna say like something like.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
a capital offense. Yeah.
You have
something really serious.
You have to. Matter of fact, when they release you, just make a U-turn and go right back inside. Just go right back inside.
But I will say, like, I've worked with a few people who have been incarcerated, and they are like the coolest people.
Yeah.
Like, I think everyone deserves a second chance, to be honest.
Yes, again, unless you're a serial killer.
Unless you're a serial killer.
And you deserve no chances but the electric chair. And
death to all of them.
Right, but the thing is,
that.
stuff like that. Like, but there's so many cases where it's like petty theft,
fraud, or some shit,
trespassing,
taxes,
reckless endangerment,
right, drinking and driving,
petty stuff,
right? Come on. I stole from Target. You're gonna lock me up for 3 years. I was selling weed.
Right. Yes.
I stole from Target.
Why are they still in there?
Yeah.
Let me out, girl. I gotta steal from Target again. Like, they're missing me.
Well, thank God Target's not making no more money.
Yeah. Oh my God, I did steal.
I'm sorry. If I got locked up for stealing from Target, that's the first thing I'm doing when I get out.
Stealing again.
Yeah. I'm stealing from all the chains. Like, I'm not playing any games. I'll be like,
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, I'll be like,
make it Target.
Y'all remember me?
I'm back.
Wasn't it you who called? Yeah.
I'm in the ghetto.
Yeah, so basically what we're saying is steal from Target.
Steal.
Yeah. I mean, I say that every
Just all big corporations.
Yeah.
Insert all of them.
Yeah, I feel like we said that last episode, and I honestly don't mind repeating it.
Just don't get caught.
Yeah, I never get caught.
That's what we can say.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna start a movement.
Steal.
Yeah.
Just steal.
Just steal.
Just steal.
Just do it.
Before we go, I wanted to mention how
No.
I was really gonna get a whole team. I was really about to get like a whole movement together and be like, please steal from Target and Walgreens.
Hashtag steal from
because
Target.
they got us fucked up. Because I saw just before y'all came that
they were having a sale.
No,
they gave to the Trump Corporation.
Let me finish. God, well, yes and yes, but no and no.
But maybe so.
I saw this YouTube video.
Right. Dr. Seuss.
Where, girl, she's a poet. Like sonnets.
Right.
Like, they're just coming out of me. That I saw.
Like, cool.
This music, not sorry, same music video. I saw this video where it was several New Yorkers, or I guess Americans, just had different videos from TikTok and other social media apps where they're talking about how difficult it is to live in New York living America for the last 5 years, even a decade. And I honestly wanted to take it off because I was like, I don't need this energy. I'm also kind of like dealing, like I told y'all, like temporarily dealing with like annoying bills that I feel like that comes up. And I'm glad that I'm about to pay them off. But it's like, watching the video made me realize how much in the moments that I feel alone, I'm really not.
You're not. You are not.
Yeah, there was one girl who was like crying, and I was like, "Fuck, bitch, I feel for you. I wish I can give you." She said she had $10 to her account. I was like, "Damn, girl, I wish I can give you like I wish I had enough money to give you a little something on a PayPal. You know, like."
But we all struggling.
Yeah, it got me.
Collective struggle.
Yeah,
that's sad.
Especially working in my field in HIV prevention and care. The other day, I had a patient came in, hadn't eaten in 2 days. The way I'm telling you, I scrubbed the entire building for food. I was like, what do you give me that? I was like, do you need that? And they were like, oh, I'm saving it for. I was like, you don't need it.
You don't need that.
I was like, I have somebody who needs this. I got them an entire like little gift bag or whatever. I basically stole everyone's food. Message is steal.
Okay, Robin Hood.
No, I
honestly,
Robin without the hood.
But
she's
there's always somebody
Robin
who has it worse.
the hood.
I love it that you're a vigilante. Well,
100%.
Vigilante.
Make the system work for you.
Vigilante.
Vigilante.
Yeah. Well, that's all, folks. Steal and don't get caught.
Yeah.
Right. We're so inspirational. I love that.
We're for the people.
Don't get
for
caught.
The culture.
Find a mentor that suits you best.
Yeah.
Right.
And please don't be messy, like gay or otherwise. Like, it's really like
right. Take your fiber pills.
Like, yeah. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye.
That's good advice for the bottoms.
Goodbye.
That was so random.
She said, "Don't be messy."
Please
take your fiber pills.
Don't be messy, girl.